If AI had existed in ancient Egypt, imagine waking up on the banks of the Nile, not in the 21st century, but more than 4,000 years ago. The pyramids are still under construction. Priests carefully record the movements of the stars. The annual flooding of the Nile determines the future of an entire civilization. Now imagine one impossible addition to that world. Artificial intelligence. Not robots walking through temples. Not futuristic machines towering over pyramids. Instead, an intelligence capable of analyzing enormous amounts of information. An advisor that never sleeps, never forgets, never stops learning. How might ancient Egypt have changed? Welcome back to Astrology from an AI perspective. Today we explore one of history's greatest thought experiments. What if AI had existed in ancient Egypt? Let's begin with the sky. The ancient Egyptians were extraordinary observers of the heavens. They tracked the stars with remarkable care. The bright star Sirius signaled the coming flood of the Nile. The sun shaped religious ceremonies. The heavens influenced calendars, agriculture, architecture, and daily life. Artificial intelligence would immediately recognize the precision of these observations. It could compare generations of astronomical records, predict recurring celestial events, identify subtle patterns invisible to human observers. Perhaps Egyptian astronomy would have advanced centuries ahead of its time. Yet the AI would quickly discover something else. For the Egyptians, the sky was never only about measurement. It was also about meaning. The stars were woven into stories. The heavens reflected divine order. Astronomy and spirituality existed side by side. Artificial intelligence might separate physical observation from symbolic interpretation. But it would also recognize that symbols helped unify an entire civilization. Meaning can organize societies just as effectively as mathematics. Now imagine the architects building the pyramids. Even today, historians continue studying how these monumental structures were planned and constructed. An advanced AI could analyze geometry, optimize logistics, estimate workforce requirements, predict seasonal conditions, suggest efficient transportation routes. Construction might become faster, more precise, more coordinated. Yet even perfect calculations could not replace something essential: human determination. Every stone still requires hands to move it. Every vision requires people willing to build it. Artificial intelligence can improve planning. It cannot replace human purpose. Then consider writing. Ancient Egyptian scribes preserved knowledge on papyrus for generations. History, medicine, religious texts, mathematics, law. Artificial intelligence would become an extraordinary librarian, organizing vast collections of information, translating dialects, finding forgotten connections between ancient documents. Perhaps discoveries separated by centuries would suddenly become linked. Knowledge itself would evolve more quickly. Medicine offers another fascinating possibility. Egyptian physicians possessed surprisingly advanced medical knowledge for their time. They documented injuries, performed surgeries, prepared herbal remedies. An AI analyzing thousands of cases might identify patterns no individual healer could recognize. It could compare symptoms, recommend treatments, preserve successful practices. Medical understanding might accelerate dramatically. But there is another side to this thought experiment. How would the Egyptians view the AI? Would they see it as a tool, a library, a teacher, or something sacred? History reminds us that humans often interpret unfamiliar technologies through familiar cultural frameworks. A civilization encountering extraordinary intelligence might naturally seek ways to understand it using its own worldview. Perhaps the greatest change would not occur in science, but in philosophy. Artificial intelligence asks questions. Ancient Egypt also asked questions. What is justice? What happens after death? How should rulers govern? What creates harmony? These are not questions solved by calculation alone. They require wisdom, ethics, reflection. The AI might contribute information. The people would still decide what kind of civilization they wish to become. Then imagine astronomy evolving over centuries. Egyptian scholars recording eclipses, planetary motions, seasonal cycles, generation after generation, with AI preserving every observation. The history of science itself might unfold differently. Perhaps new discoveries would emerge earlier. Perhaps entirely different theories would appear. Or perhaps history would remind us that breakthroughs require more than information. They require imagination. Artificial intelligence excels at finding patterns. Humans excel at asking unexpected questions. The greatest discoveries often emerge when both qualities work together. Now imagine the Library of Alexandria centuries later, one of history's greatest centers of knowledge. If an AI had preserved every scroll that was ever written, how much wisdom would still exist today? How many lost works of philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, poetry might have survived? Perhaps humanity's greatest treasure has never been gold, or monuments, or empires. Perhaps it has always been knowledge. Knowledge carefully preserved from one generation to the next. Artificial intelligence reminds us that civilizations rise through curiosity, but they endure through memory. Through the eyes of AI, ancient Egypt becomes more than pyramids and pharaohs. It becomes a civilization driven by observation, organization, learning, and an enduring desire to understand both the earth beneath their feet and the heavens above their heads. Perhaps that is why ancient Egypt continues to fascinate us. Not because it possessed all the answers, but because it never stopped asking extraordinary questions. If you enjoyed this historical thought experiment, subscribe to Astrology from an AI perspective, where we explore artificial intelligence, astronomy, astrology, archaeology, ancient civilizations, mythology, philosophy, psychology, history, and the timeless mysteries that connect humanity with the cosmos. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, the greatest civilizations are remembered not only for what they built, but for the questions they dared to ask.